Good evening and welcome into this special presentation by Ritter Communications. Tonight we bring you AA Productions Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds 2. You're watching it right here on Tubetown, Channel 21. I'm Andy Manus, joined cage side tonight by Aaron Hathcock. We're in the BC Lloyd building on the Greene County Fairgrounds where, Aaron, tonight we get a chance to see 14 young fighters put their pride on the line in mixed martial arts combat, including tonight a title fight between Cody Lane and Jesse Parker and a professional fight between Michael Richards from Global Proving Grounds, one of Paragold's own, Enoch Brinker.
Man, I am excited to be here. We've got some of the best seats in the house, and I'm ready to get this thing kicked off and underway.
Well, Aaron, as for those of us who are not so familiar with MMA, as usual, if you don't mind, let's go over some of the basic do's and don'ts here for tonight's matchups.
All right. Basically, you have three 3-minute rounds. We have two exceptions to that tonight. We have a title fight that is 5 3-minute rounds, and then our main event is going to be 3 rounds that are 5 minutes long each. There are 3 judges that sit at ringside, and those 3 judges score the fight on what's called a 10-point must system. In a 10-point must system, the winner of the round is awarded 10 points. The other fighter in the round has 9 or less points. Judges award scoring points for effectiveness in striking and in grappling, in cage control, aggressiveness, and defense.
All right. Well, we're just about set for our matchup tonight. Awesome fight card on our hands. 7 fights on the card tonight, and as you mentioned, Aaron, a title fight, 5 3-minute rounds for the title fight, and the professional fight at the end, 3 5-minute rounds. So with that said, let's send it down to our ring announcer, Billy Lamb. He'll give you the lowdown on tonight's first fight.
First Delta Bank presents live high school baseball on Tubetown, Channel 21. You heard right. For the first time ever, Ritter Communications brings you live high school baseball on Tubetown, Channel 21. Log on to tubetownonline.com to see the full baseball schedule and see when your local team will be televised. The season begins April 3rd. First Delta Bank presents live high school baseball on Tubetown, Channel 21. Brought to you by these great sponsors.
Welcome back to Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds 2 here in the BC Lloyd building on the Greene County Fairgrounds. Andy Mason, Aaron Hathcock sitting cage side, getting ready for our first matchup of the night. Already in the ring in the blue corner, Juan Aaron Cruz.
Juan Aaron Cruz. I'm 145. My coach is Enoch Brinker. We pretty much just have fun. We teach, I learn things. It's great. It's good. When I go to the gym, Brinker, me and Enoch Brinker, it feels good about training around with him. He does good. He teaches me so much, and it just feels good to just. I've had 3 fights. I've had 1 good fight where I had a bunch of people just come in. Just a lot of my family, a lot of my friends, and my last fight, it just made me the happiest person. It just made me feel great just to jump on that cage and there they were. Hey, just fans, come out and watch me fight. I'm going to do a lot of groundwork, some great ground and pound, maybe some great stand-up, one-on-one. Hopefully I give you guys the best show you guys wanted.
He weighs in at 142 pounds tonight. Entering the octagon right now is Dustin Brawley.
Dustin Brawley, 135 pounds, freestyle fighter. I'm currently independent right now. I have a coach that helps me train and all that, go through my workouts and everything. I'm looking to get into a gym here real soon. It means a lot, you know. I got family members that grew up doing it, so you know I just want to follow the footsteps. Shout out to my hometown fans, Lepanto, Arkansas. It means a lot for the people in Lepanto, my hometown, to come out and support me. And, you know, the person that inspires me the most in my life is my mother. She grew up raising me with no father, so you know I just want to show her my fans. Come out and watch me. I promise you I won't disappoint.
135 pounds in the red corner. And, you know, a little bit of a weight difference between our first 2 fighters tonight, but let's send it down to our ring announcer, Billy Lamb, for the prayer.
Thank you, Lord, for this opportunity to come watch these fighters give it their all. We pray for their safety, Lord, and that there are no major injuries, Lord, but them fight a good fight, put on a good show. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right, introducing first in the blue corner from Brickhouse MMA, Juan Aaron Cruz. And his opponent in the red corner, this is Dustin Brawley.
All right, we're all set for our first match on tonight's card. Andy Maness and Aaron Hathcock sitting cage side and ready to bring you the first matchup. The blue corner won, Aaron Cruz. He is wearing the blue trunks with red trim. Dustin Brawley in the red corner wearing the black and white pattern trunks. And you see the fighters bow to each other. That is something you're going to see all night tonight, as it is a global proving grounds rule. It's mandatory for our fighters to bow to each other before we begin the fight.
And Andy, I really, really like that because that kind of pays homage to honor and respect, which is what martial arts was built on. And I think that's what global proving ground wants to try to do, is get back to that foundation. And that was a nice takedown right there. Nice
takedown there by Brawley. He is got his opponent Cruz pinned up against the cage right now.
And that's
trying to break that guard
that we're going to see tonight. Some things that are illegal, Andy. There's no headbutting, no eye gouging, no biting, no strikes to the groin or the throat. You can't manipulate the toes or the fingers. You can't hit your opponent in the back of the head. And an opponent who's grounded, which means that something besides his feet are touching the mat, you cannot throw a knee or kick to the head of that opponent. And in our main event, we're going to see a difference where we're going to see that because of the rules of this state, elbows to the head are going to be legal.
Well, right now you see Dustin Brawley trying to stay as busy as he can on top of Cruz right now to avoid being broken up. And there's a nice reversal by Cruz.
Right there to reverse that.
Cruz has now taken the back of Brawley, but Brawley has now taken side mount position. And it looks like Cruz is using his body up against the cage to try to keep Brawley from getting in a more advantageous position. It looks like he's trying to go for a headlock here.
That's exactly what that is. And both fighters go back up to their feet and then back down.
And there, Cruz has reversed positions completely once again, and he has almost taken the back of Brawley. And we are about a minute left in this fight.
Did you see how he transitioned to full mount
position?
And now Cruz gives up his back, or Brawley gives up his back rather than sit there in full mount and take those bombs from Cruz.
Well, and that was smart. Very smart of him to try to roll over and at least give up his back. I mean, he does give up the possibility of a rear naked choke, which it seems like Cruz is trying to lock that in right now.
He opened his chin up, and Cruz was able to slip his arm under there. David Dyer's checking it closely, and
there's
he taps
the tap
out to a naked choke.
With about 50 seconds remaining in round number one, Juan Aaron Cruz is our first winner of tonight via rear naked choke. We'll let the referee, David Dyer, announce the winners, and then we'll send it down to Aaron Hathcock, who will have an interview with our winner, Juan Aaron Cruz, fighting out of the blue corner.
And your winner from Brickhouse MMA, Juan Aaron Cruz.
All right, I'm here with your winner, Juan Aaron Cruz. Can you tell us, did you know that you'd be able to slip that rear naked choke in there, or did you just find an opportunity?
I just found the opportunity. He just gave it to me, and I just gave it what I got. Really, I just preferred to actually stand up, but we just took it to the ground. So I took it to his game. That's what he wanted, so I did it.
Man, that was a great job getting that choke in there. Good luck to you in the future. Congratulations. Give it up for our winner, Juan Aaron Cruz, everybody.
You hear the haters, baby. You hear the haters. He has some hooks. Oh, my gosh.
I'm going to come in the ring. I'm going to show you what the TCW champion do.
Yes! Big tackle. Nobody pulls a plug on Alan Steele.
He's saying that's it. This
almost
is
too much.
Steel trap. He's trapped in steel trap.
Andy Maness and Aaron Hathcock back here at the B.C. Lloyd building on the campus of Greene County Fairgrounds. On the campus, on the fairgrounds of Greene County. I've been doing too many basketball games here lately. Getting ready for our second fight of the evening. Will Jackson.
Will Jackson, 140, and I train myself and my teammates are Garrett Caraway and Wade Dow. Should be a fighter. The MMA lifestyle means to me training every day from 3 to 11, 7 days a week. I mean, most of my life from my mom, my dad, and my grandpa. Fans come out and watch me fight, and I won't disappoint.
Entering the ring right now in the blue corner, he is wearing the black and white trunks. His opponent entering the stage now in the red corner, Jesse Bowers.
I'm Jesse Bowers from GPG Arkansas, BMA Combat Jiu-Jitsu. I'm a brawler with some decent jiu-jitsu background, and just can't wait to get in there and bang, man. My coach is Master John Webb and his wife Trisha Webb. They're both my trainers and my coach. Phenomenal. Took me in like family. I've known them going on a year now. I really can't say enough. There's not many things I've ever done right with my life, and this is one of them, and they're supporting me 100%, and God bless them for that. And my fight team, I just respect all of them. We're all one big family there, man. It's a lifestyle that is my life. This is now my life. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I want to do. This is what I have to do, so I'm here. Let's do it. All right, I want to give a shout out to little hometown GPG Arkansas, to all the little cage kids at Wolfpack that get to make it up here today. I'm going to put on a show for you guys. Everybody at the team that wanted to make it that also couldn't come. Anybody in town that's known of me or supported us at BMA, we appreciate it. And a small shout out to hometown Louisiana, to everybody that knew me when I was little. Look at me.
Jesse Bowers weighs in at 143 pounds. His opponent, Will Jackson, weighs in at 135 pounds. The exact weight difference that we had in our last fight. And the last fight, Juan Aaron Cruz was the heavier fighter at 142, only by 7 pounds, but he was able to use that 7 pounds on the ground and use his wrestling skills to be able to flip the momentum in that fight and win via rear naked choke.
And what was interesting about that, Andy, he said he prefers to stand, and obviously so his preferred technique is striking, but when that fight went to the ground, he adapted and he was able to take the back of Dustin Brawley and able to slip that rear naked choke in, and man, that was nicely done. When your opponent's got your back like that, you can't give up your chin. You've got to keep it tucked. You've got to protect from that rear naked choke, because that's the most obvious move.
We'll see what transpires here in our next fight. We'll send it down to Billy Lamb to introduce our fighters.
And his opponent in the red corner from Team Wolfpack, Jesse Bowers.
All right.
Jesse Bowers had a lot of energy in his walk-in.
He does.
His introduction.
Jesse Bowers in the red corner, fighting in the red and black trunks you see there, and Will Jackson in the black and white trunks.
Referee Rocky Demers getting all the bows in. Like I said, I love that, Andy. That is a great show of respect. It honors the traditions of martial arts, and that's what mixed martial arts was founded on. And I'm glad that Global Proving Grounds does that.
Absolutely. Big
nice kick to
kick
the body right there to start by Will Jackson.
Absolutely.
Another one.
Well, a good takedown countering that from Bowers.
Bowers moves immediately to a full mount
position up against the cage, and we'll see if Jackson is able to fight him off.
And Jackson tried to grab onto Jesse Bowers right there and hold himself close to his body.
And there's an arm bar.
He reversed that, and now he has the top position.
But Bowers is in a position to secure an arm bar if he can get it locked down.
And
he taps out.
And he does. Will Jackson taps out to the arm bar.
About 50 seconds gone by in our first round, and Jackson is able to swing the momentum his way so he can get back on his feet, but Jesse Bowers, with the quick thinking, is able to lock in an arm bar, and we have got our second submission of the night. It comes with about 50 seconds gone in the first round. Jesse Bowers, the winner of our second fight of the night, rather. And we'll send it down to ring announcer Billy Lamb and then to Aaron Hathcock for an interview with Jesse Bowers.
And your winner from Team Wolfpack, Jesse Bowers.
Let's take a minute with our winner, Jesse Bowers. Jesse, when you got rolled over onto your back, was it your intention to look for that arm bar, or did you just find an opportunity and seize it?
Oh, no, sir. That was all day long. We are combat jiu-jitsu, and that's what you just seen.
So every time you end up on your back, you're going to try to look for something like that to win your fight with. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, a party. He's coming home with us.
Well, man, congratulations. That was a great move. Jesse Bowers, everybody, let's hear it for it.
All right, Jesse Bowers, the winner of our second fight on the card. Still 5 fights remaining. All right, nice little words there from Jesse Bowers after his win. It comes at 50 seconds gone by in the first round via armbar over Will Jackson. We'll come back right after these messages with our third fight of the night. Joe Jones taking on Daniel Rollins in a heavyweight bout. You're going to want to see this one, so stay tuned right here on Tubetown, Channel 21.
Ritter Communications gives you a universe of TV shows, and now TiVo brings you even more. Movies, music, and videos from the web. Get it all in one place and take it anywhere life takes you. Any show, any screen, anywhere. Introducing the TiVo Experience.
Call Ritter Communications today. Ritter Communications, right by you.
Welcome back to Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds 2 here on the fairgrounds of Greene County. We're in the BC Lloyd building. Andy Maness and Aaron Hathcock sitting cage side, getting ready for our third fight of the night. Joe Jones making his way to the octagon now. He weighs in at 274 pounds. He's going to be fighting out of the blue corner tonight. You see our referee, Rocky Demir, there.
Andy, there's
going
a lot
over the rules
of Joe
with him.
Jones in the cage right now.
There's a lot of Joe Jones in the cage right now. His opponent making his way down the entrance right now, Daniel Rollins. He weighs in at 216 pounds, and this is considered a heavyweight bout in the state of Arkansas.
That is amazing. And the weight difference between these two guys, Andy, is almost what you weigh. So I'm interested to see how this fight goes.
Thank you for flattering me. I appreciate that.
Well, you are a lot skinnier than I am.
274 pounds versus 216 pounds. Conditioning could be an issue in this match, but also it could be the case of whoever gets hit first.
Well, and you want to think that if Joe Jones hits you, there's going to be a lot of power behind that shot. That may not be the case, but, you know, it's definitely a lot of momentum behind that punch.
We'll send it down to ring announcer Billy Lamb to introduce our fighters for our third fight on this card.
All right, introducing first in the blue corner from Team Serbius, Big Joe Jones. And his opponent in the red corner from Iron Fist Gym, this is Daniel Collins.
All right,
Demir with the bows.
Ready for our third fight of the night. Once again, customary for Global Proving Grounds. All fighters must bow to each other. And apparently
Rocky Demir's asking the fighters if they're ready, and here we go.
Daniel Collins, not Daniel Rollins, but here we go. Timekeeper has started. Our timekeeper tonight, Christina Harper.
Kick to the leg. It looks like Collins is trying to take out Big Joe Jones's legs.
And that's a good strategy considering how much power he could have behind some of those punches
I would think
forward.
that trying to get Joe Jones on his back would be a good idea.
Two fighters trying to feel each other out here. There's a kick attempt by Joe Jones off the mark. Oh, a big straight right hand has got Collins reeling. But
and I
he's
wondered
able to,
if that's how this might go.
He's able to recover a little bit.
If Joe Jones can ever load that up against Collins, it could be trouble. But Collins is fighting that off so far, Andy. I'm impressed.
And he kind of looks like, you know, talking about fighting it off, it kind of looks like he almost wants to stand toe-to-toe with him right now. He just gave him the come-on signal.
Well, you know, and maybe he's been able to scout Joe Jones, and he's developed a strategy that says, I believe I can stand with this guy if I do the right things and defend the right types of offense from Joe Jones.
Another leg kick from Collins. Another leg kick off the mark, and Jones is going to try to capitalize on that
Jones looks like
miss.
he found an opportunity there on that leg kick because Collins didn't pull that back right after he landed it.
There's a big
That was
slam.
a big takedown and a slam, and this could be trouble for Collins because Joe Jones has got that 274 pounds laying right on top of him.
He does indeed, and he is in side mount right now, and he's trying to pin that left arm down.
Pinning
as
that
you
left
saw.
arm, and you know that David Collins is having or Daniel Collins is having a hard time breathing.
Look at the way that Jones is trying to smother Collins right now. He's got that left arm right on top of his throat, right on top of his face, where he can't breathe very well.
And he's got his torso all over his abdomen. And you know that's making it hard for Daniel Collins to breathe.
He is just driving that elbow right into the throat of Collins, and Collins is doing all he can do to just try to get any air right now.
And he's probably trying to figure out a way that he can reverse this or get out from underneath Joe Jones and maybe stand this fight back up, because I'm sure on the ground with Joe Jones is not the place he wants to be, at least not on the bottom.
Joe Jones in the side mount position. All he's got to do is get that right leg over, but, you know, he hasn't really tried to move into full mount position yet either. He's just trying to cut off the air supply, I think, and wear down Collins. About 40 seconds left in round number 1.
And Rocky Demers is checking this close, and I'm wondering if he's about ready to stand these guys up because there's not a lot of activity.
And it looks like he's getting ready to do something with it.
It's possible we have the first fight of the night that's going to leave the first round, Andy.
It's very possible. 20 seconds remaining in the first round. Jones is trying to get that right leg over, it looks like, but Collins, and there it goes. Collins doing a good job of keeping it, and now they've moved into half guard.
And there's an attempt.
10 seconds left.
Like you said, Andy, to try to move into full mount.
And there's the end of round number 1. The fighters will stand up and go back to their respective corners. A good first round between these two heavyweight fighters, and you know Collins has got to be winded after that first round.
Well,
he spent the better part of 2 minutes on the ground with Joe Jones in his chest.
But think about this, Andy. Joe Jones had to keep working to make sure he maintained that position on top of Daniel Collins. So I think we're going to see in these next 2 rounds who may be the more winded of the two. Because remember, Joe Jones is carrying around a little more weight than Daniel Collins is. That's a tough round to score. I scored that round 10-9 for Joe Jones simply because as they were on the ground, he seemed to dominate the position. He seemed to be a little bit more of the aggressor. But honestly, if that fight goes to the ground later in the round, I don't know that I wouldn't give that fight to that round to Daniel Collins.
I think,
of course, I'm not a judge, and I'm not sanctioned by this state, so we'll see how this turns out.
I think Collins successfully was able to land more strikes standing up, but you're right, there was a takedown and the dominant control of that position by Jones for the majority of that round. So very tough to score, I agree. And here we go with round number 2.
Cage control is one of those things that the judges look at, so we got to think that that's what they're looking at. We'll see what happens in this round. Does Joe Jones want to keep it standing this time and see if he can dominate on the feet, or does he want to take it back to the ground and do sort of the lay and pray that they call it?
Well, Collins has got a bloodied nose, and there you see an attempted takedown there by Jones. He's got Collins up against the cage, and now Collins back against the mat.
And this is an even more disadvantageous position for Collins, especially when Joe Jones pushed that leg down and went into full mount, because now Collins has a direction he can't even move because he's pinned up against the cage. So his mobility's cut down. All that weight of Joe Jones is bearing down on top of him, and you can see Joe Jones bearing down on top of him. So,
and it looks like he's almost trying to go for a choke with those big forearms of his.
Like a forearm choke.
It looks like he is pinning Collins' own arms up against his throat.
And I'm not sure what. That looked like Joe Jones laid his chin on him, and I started to say, if I'm in that position, I think I'm going to try to drop some bombs. I know he's got wrist control now on Daniel Collins' right wrist, Joe Jones does, and at the same time, Daniel Collins has some arm control on the right arm of Joe Jones. But I think I'm going to sit up right here because there's such a weight difference. Daniel Collins is not going to buck him off nearly as easily. He's trying to, as you see right there, but man, if I'm Joe Jones and I'm Joe Jones' corner, sit up, get up on his chest like that and drop some bombs. And Daniel Collins does the only thing he can do. And he turns it over.
Jones is going for the rear naked choke. We'll see if he can lock it in.
This is where you have to protect your chin, and Daniel Collins didn't do it.
Collins is trying to slip out of it. He's
almost
got it reversed, and he
does get out. That was an excellent escape because I thought Daniel Collins was going to go to a point where he was going to be tapped out. We have just about a minute left in this round, Andy.
Not out of trouble yet as Collins is back in a grappling position up against the cage, and Joe Jones full body weight on top of him. And there you see trying to kick his leg out from underneath him and try to get some of that leverage off of his body.
Honestly, this is a little better round for Daniel Collins because he showed some ability to get out of Joe Jones's attempt to pin him down, and then Joe Jones, as I say, that takes him right back down, starts dropping bombs right to the face.
Well, and I was going to say that Collins was, pinned up against the cage like that. He is at a disadvantage, but with that said, he's at least in his corner where he can get some kind of coaching from his trainers.
And you
over
can hear
there.
it from our vantage point. There was absolutely some coaching going on to Daniel Collins, as much as pleading to just get out of there and don't get caught in that thing where
10 seconds remaining.
That's right.
Half guard right now for Joe Jones. He's trying to slip it over, but a good job by Collins blocking that. And we could be headed to the third round, and we are. Another tight round between Big Joe Jones from Team Cerberus and Daniel Collins from Iron Fist MMA.
And Andy, that was a close round again, but once again, and you kind of saw it just then with Daniel Collins, he kind of shook his head. I think he knows that he's down by 2 rounds right now to Joe Jones. And if I'm Daniel Collins' corner, I'm saying, look, man, you're hanging in there and you're doing a great job against this big dude, but you have got to finish him if you want to win this fight. Because I think that's the only outlet that Daniel Collins has right now is he has to finish this fight. If he doesn't finish this fight, he's going to lose a decision. At least that's the way I see it. I have it 20-18 right now, Joe Jones.
No, I think you're right. Just because of, and it's not really anything that Joe Jones has done that's been spectacular. It's just been controlling the momentum of the fight.
And throughout this whole fight for these first 2 rounds, Joe Jones has lived up to his nickname of Big, and he has applied the Big all the way down on Daniel Collins for almost the entirety of both of these first 2 rounds.
Collins has got to avoid any sort of takedowns for this third round as we get ready to go. Referee Rocky Demir stuck on basketball.
Interesting enough, though, Rocky Demir is an MMA coach over in Northwest,
well, then
the Northwest part of the state.
I wasn't too far off.
So you're not incorrect.
Third round has begun. We are
and honestly,
underway.
If I'm Daniel Collins' corner, I'm going to say try to avoid the takedown just like you said, Andy, and keep this thing standing and try to knock this guy out.
Well, and
unless you can get the opportunity to get him down and you can get a quick submission attempt.
He tried to do that right off the bat with that big head kick, and he missed it. It was off the mark.
He gave an attempt, but did you see, because he's been fighting off the weight and the sheer forward presence of Joe Jones, how much there was lacking in power in that kick?
Absolutely.
And then Daniel Collins, though, man, you have to appreciate that. He clapped his hands and smiled at Jones. He said, bring it on, big man. He said, I'm not scared of you.
Once again, a 60-pound weight difference between these two fighters.
Rocky Demir says, don't hang on to the cage.
Joe Jones grasping onto it. He's got Collins pinned up against the cage once again.
Oh, what
big
a knee.
Knee to the midsection of Collins.
How would you like to take that knee?
I'll pass. Another one from Collins and another one. And Collins is not in a good position right now against the cage once again. Throws a head punch.
I outweigh Joe Jones by about 10 pounds, and I wouldn't want to take that knee either, Andy. I have to be honest with you. That had a lot of power to it. He turned his hip into it and drove that thing into Daniel Collins' midsection.
Collins trying to do some fighting with his back pinned against the cage. He throws a couple of short hooks, but those don't have much power behind them, especially given, 2 rounds of 274 pounds on top of it.
And that's the problem when you're pinned against the cage, Andy. You can't really put any power or a lot of significant power into your punches because you can't rotate your hips and get into that punch.
We'll see if Rocky Demir wants to allow this to continue much longer. A minute left remaining here in our third and final round between Joe Jones and Daniel Collins. Let's see if Collins can get another takedown. Joe Jones, rather.
It's go time right here for Daniel Collins, I think, Andy. I mean, obviously, I'm not a judge, as I've said, but I think he has to go, and he has to go for the finish now. That's a big haymaker from Big Joe Jones and a big answer from Daniel Collins. Once again, and they're just trading blows now. They're standing in the pocket and trading blows.
And it looks like Collins a little bit winded. About 30 seconds remaining, and Joe
Daniel
Jones
Collins
is ready to go.
He blew some air out of his cheeks like, oh, man.
Joe Jones is ready to go with it.
But that exchange got this crowd fired up, Andy, and it did me too.
Collins is zeroing in on Jones right here.
And of these two fighters, both of them look tired, but I think Daniel Collins may look a little bit fresher.
10 seconds remaining, the third and final round. Collins knows he's got to go all out. And he's just going to bide his time and I think catch his breath. And there is the end.
And you can't blame
our
them.
third and final
you
round.
really can't, because those guys expended a lot of energy.
Absolutely.
So this one's going to go to the judges, our first fight of the night that goes to the judges. Let's see what happens, Andy.
And your winner by unanimous decision, the blue corner, Joe Jones.
Let's get a quick word with our winner, Joe Jones. Joe, that was a tough fight, man. You guys went back and forth, a lot of groundwork, a lot of standing work. What was your strategy coming into this fight?
Just staying safe. That's it.
You did that. How do you feel about this decision win?
I love it.
Man, you did a good job. Everybody, let's give it up for our winner, Joe Jones.
Back here with our fourth fight of the evening on Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds 2 right here on Tubetown Channel 21. Making her way to the ring right now, Cody Underwood.
I'm Cody Underwood, 125, and I fight in Jiu-Jitsu. My dad is one of my coaches. He teaches me my Taekwondo. Brent Chapman is my Jiu-Jitsu coach, and my team, we're all pretty close and train mostly guys. My athlete means to me a whole lot. It changes who I am. It helps me come out of my shell. With my family and my friends following me, I love the support. They're always there for me and they back me up. What inspires me the most would probably be my dad, because he always trains. He's pushed me. He's always there for me. He helps me with everything. He spends hours in MMA. Would probably be sparring with all the guys and at least hurting them. Fans, come out and watch me fight, because you're going to see a good fight.
Fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at 127 pounds. She will be wearing black trunks with white trim. And hopefully this fourth fight on our card tonight, Aaron, will be just as exciting as the third one was between Big Joe Jones and Daniel Collins. It went the distance all 3 rounds. And,
those guys made it interesting.
They did indeed, probably our most exciting fight. We've had 2 submissions in the first round so far tonight. 1 card has gone to the judges. No knockouts so far, but still a long way to go.
A lot of submissions
here tonight.
We've seen some submissions.
Making her way to the ring right now, Heather Parsons, weighing in at 124 pounds. This is the closest we've seen as far as weight classes goes thus far tonight.
Andy, you know I'm a fan of the women's fights simply because I have never seen a women's fight where they didn't bring it in the UFC.
You're absolutely
in
right.
Invicta, in Bellator.
Well, and the last one that we had here on Tubetown Channel 21. The last fight that we had here on Tubetown Channel 21, the last Cage Combat Championship.
That's right. You and I said that was the fight of the night because it had the most action for the longest amount of time.
We'll see if tonight lives up to our previously set standard. In the blue corner, Cody Underwood fighting Heather Parsons in the red corner. Let's send it down to ring announcer Billy Lamb to announce our fighters.
First, introducing first in the blue corner, Cody Underwood. And her opponent in the red corner, Heather Parsons.
All right, Andy. Rocky Demir once again pulling duty as a referee.
Our judges tonight, John Webb, Westcraft, and John Munns. And as you mentioned, Aaron, our referee, Rocky Demir, ready to start things off here on our fourth fight of the night. And here we go. 3 rounds, 3 minutes between these 2 young ladies. Cody Underwood wearing the black trunks, white trim. Heather Parsons wearing the black trunks with a black top, the long shirt, and the two grapple in the mid-ring. Trading blows.
So far, they want to keep it standing. And as I said, Andy, the women always bring it in their fights, and it doesn't matter what level. Look at that. They were hanging on to each other and trading right hands at the same time.
And Cody Underwood is trying to lock in, and now she's got the body grappled of Parsons. And Underwood was trying to go for a Muay Thai clinch, and she had that for a couple seconds, but wasn't able to get any knees thrown. And then that's when we started seeing the two trading blows.
And that would have been a great position for her to be in. As we see a reversal there when Heather Parsons tries to perform a whizzer. And now Cody Underwood is up on top in the closed guard of Heather Parsons.
She was trying to slip but could not get past the knees of Parsons. And we're not going to see a whole lot of a lot of leverage based on weight here. Both of these fighters the exact same size.
No, you would think that this fight, the winner of this fight is going to be based on technique and based on who can gain an advantage in terms of maybe like a position like this.
And it
who's
looks like
on top or who may have the advantageous position.
Parsons was almost able to flip Underwood over and almost gain the back position, but
Parsons from the bottom is being active. We'll see where this goes. She closes her guard once again.
She's got those legs locked, and it's going to be hard for Underwood to slip past that guard right there.
And what Parsons is doing, if you'll see, she's got that arm wrapped around behind Underwood's head, and she's holding Underwood close to her so she can't do any maneuvering. At least she doesn't have any leverage to do any maneuvering, and she's got that guard closed around her rib cage and got her ankles locked up high.
Now she's at a standing position. If she's got the strength, we may see her try to pick Parsons up here.
But Parsons tries to continue to hold Underwood close where Underwood can't do anything with her arms.
Well, and we're almost a triangle lock here.
But I don't
think she can get it locked in.
Right, and I don't know that Underwood has one of her arms has to be inside the legs of Parsons for
but
that
that's
to be
something
an
that
effective
Parsons
triangle.
has been trying to do ever since. And Parsons reversed
reversed that, and now she's in full mount, and she's just dropping bombs on Underwood.
And she has got her weight right on top of the chest of Underwood. It's going to be hard for her to get out of this
Underwood's bucking her
position.
hips, but it doesn't matter because Parsons is so high on her body, it doesn't matter.
Hammer
the crowd
fist
starts to
face,
stand
and
up and
there's an
yell.
arm bar.
Look at an arm bar.
There's the arm bar from Underwood. We'll see if she can get it locked in. Around 10 seconds remaining, and there we go, actually. The end of round number one.
What a great round.
And by far the most exciting fight we have had tonight. And the first round is over. That's a hard one to score. That's a hard one to score because Underwood had the position for most of the fight, but a great reversal there at the end by Parsons.
And
you had the attempted submission by Underwood, though.
If I'm going to put my hat on and think like a judge because of that flurry at the end by Parsons, I think I'm going to give that round 10-9 to Parsons, but just barely. But it's a 10-point must system, so once again, somebody has to get 10 points and somebody has to get less than 10.
Yeah, I would not want to be in the judge's position right now. Absolutely not. That one a very tough one to call. And I almost said something about that. It seemed like Parsons was trying to get her legs wrapped up around the head of Underwood so that she could maybe try to go for a triangle choke. But she completely flipped the script on Underwood and was able to flip positions.
And you can't
goes to
knock
the full
Underwood
mount.
because Underwood was way up on the torso right there. And what that does is it prevents you from being bucked off by your opponent raising your hips.
And even being fully mounted like that, Underwood did a good job of getting out of that position, and then she attempted a submission right out of it.
That's a good kick, and now she's got one hand behind the head and continues to throw punches right there into Parsons' chin.
Underwood with the Muay Thai clinch, and now she goes in for a full grapple. Tells her to quit grabbing the cage. Rocky Demir, the referee, closely monitoring the situation. Parsons again staying busy even though she's got her back trapped against the cage. Couple of hammer fists, a nice uppercut there from Underwood. Underwood moves out towards the center and
Underwood's
then pushes her
corner
back
yelling
again.
instructions. You can hear it from here.
Well, and we talked about this in an earlier fight. Underwood she's already in an advantageous position because she's she's the leader, and now she looks a bit
Parsons,
stunned.
Parsons slipped out from her position was disadvantageous against the cage.
She looks a bit
She
stunned
slipped
here.
out, and then she's just hitting Underwood over and over and over, and Underwood can't do anything but cover up and protect.
It looks like Parsons caught her, and there's
an elbow! Did you see that?
Parsons is desperately trying to cover her face, which Underwood.
But now Underwood is basically just covering her head and said, "You've got to give me a break." And she knows that Parsons may get tired by throwing punch after punch after punch. And some of those are doing damage, but a lot of those are not.
Referee Rocky Demir is dangerously
Rocky Demir's
close to
telling her to
stopping
fight
this
back, though. Did you see that? Rocky Demir's going, "You got to fight back. You have to fight back."
because she's not doing a very good job of defending herself.
But she's got wrist control on the right arm now.
And now Parsons is wrapping up. She may attempt a takedown here.
Sort of a stalemate now.
I think Underwood was stunned by one of those punches right as soon as Parsons slipped out of her guard. As soon as she was able to slip away from that.
I think she had to take time to get her wits back, but she did a good job of defending.
She threw an elbow. We'll see if Underwood can get a takedown. Now she's flipped positions once again.
That's right, and she's got Parsons pinned up against the fence.
I'm curious to see if
she's trying for that double leg. Did you see that? She grabbed those legs right up high on the back of the legs. And she's trying to pick her up and put her down on the ground, because I wonder if that's where Parsons wants to be, or Underwood rather.
Underwood is throwing knees into the inside of the leg.
But you know
those
shots right there by Parsons to the ear of Underwood over and over and over. They don't look like much, but they add up over time. We have just about 15 seconds left in this round, so it looks like we're going to go to a third.
Nice knees to the midsection of Parsons from Underwood. And there's the end of round number 2. A very close fight. And
what a round to score.
I've got to give this one to Parsons. I've got to give this one to Parsons because she stayed the most active of the two fighters, and she had Underwood. Despite Parsons having her back against the fence, she was giving Underwood all she could handle, especially once she slipped out of that grapple. And it seemed like, I don't know if Underwood caught an inadvertent finger to the eye or
if she
what
was
it was.
Actually stunned by one of those
but
punches.
It seemed like she might have gotten her eye poked, because on one of those punches from Parsons, it looked like she just wanted to shy away from any kind of contact after
But it's also possible, and we could not tell from our vantage point, but it's also possible she was just hurt by those punches. There might have been a punch get through, and she had to take a time to gather her wits. So right now I have it 2 rounds to none, Heather Parsons. But
I think you're right.
I'm not sure the judges have it that way.
It's very close.
If this round doesn't end the fight and we go to the judges' scorecards, I think it could be anybody's fight.
We'll see what
happens. Here we go with a little hesitancy on both fighters right here.
I think both fighters still trying to catch their wind.
I think they're feeling these first 2 rounds.
Spinning
what a nice spinning back kick right there.
Spinning back kick from Underwood. And now Underwood trying to fight off the blows of Parsons, and Underwood goes back against the cage.
Parsons just seems to be the more active fighter right now, Andy.
But Underwood has a slight height advantage and 3 pounds of weight difference between the two, Underwood being the heavier.
But at this point, when you've already fought 6 minutes and you have to struggle through this and you have to persevere through this last 3 minutes, what a nice side kick right there, at least an attempt. I don't know that 3 pounds is going to make a difference one way or the other. I think it's about heart, it's about determination, and it's about who can have the best
throwing
strategy.
uppercuts here. Parsons throwing uppercuts, and now Parsons has her back again pinned against the fence, and Underwood using that size advantage of hers in height to
and
her
Parsons
advantage
sort of had a
again.
modified Muay Thai clinch with one hand behind the neck and the head of Underwood, and that allowed her to say, I know where my target is, and I'm going to continue to hammer.
The two continue to grapple. Now Parsons, and I don't know who to score that takedown for.
This is our second takedown of the night.
I don't know who to score that takedown for, but
honestly,
Underwood winds up on top.
Underwood's got the dominant position. She's in half guard. I think you have to give that takedown to Underwood.
She winds up in the more advantageous position.
But let's remember, Andy,
let's see if she can get that leg.
That's right. If the judges had this fight scored the way we've scored it so far, even if Underwood wins this round, she does not win this fight.
She's dangerously close to getting that leg out from between the legs of Parsons, and if she can do that, she can slip into full mount, and she's almost there, but she's in a good enough position right now that she can stay busy on top.
And
but
with
you're
about
right,
a minute
I
to
agree.
go,
She's going to
with-
have to.
Oh, there it was. She got full mount, but
There
at
it
the
is.
same time,
There it is.
That's right. And this is her chance right here. She's got to try to get the finish. If Underwood doesn't get the finish, I don't believe she's going to win this fight. I could be wrong, but I don't think she can win this fight on the scorecards if she doesn't get the finish. She's got to put everything she can into it. And Parsons says, I'm
Rear
going to give
naked
him my
choke.
back. But look at that. They roll over twice.
And it looks like she's still attempting the rear naked choke. She can't quite get the leverage, but Parsons has escaped danger for the moment.
And we don't have the vantage point, but she's trying to work that chin under there.
30 seconds remaining in our third and final round.
Underwood's got one
She
hand.
doesn't have the other hand
She
locked.
doesn't have it under the chin, though, I don't think.
And now Parsons
But
gets
she's
up her
got-
back again.
She's trying to get both those hooks in right there.
10 seconds
10
remaining.
seconds. You have to do something.
And there are strikes, and Parsons continues to stay busy. And there's the end of our third and final round between Cody Underwood and Heather Parsons. What an amazing fight that's going to go to the
We'll
judges.
see how this goes, but I right now I have it 29-28, Heather Parsons. I think Underwood won that last round, but I don't think she did enough in the course of the entire fight. We'll find out, Andy.
We'll wait on the decision from the judges. Cody Underwood fighting out of the blue corner. Heather Parsons fighting out of the red. That was probably the most exciting fight we've had so far tonight. Still 3 fights to come, but we will send it down to announcer Billy Lamb.
Your winner, from the red corner, Heather Parsons!
All right, let's get a word with our winner, Heather Parsons. Heather, you guys went back and forth. That was an incredible fight. That was my favorite fight of the night so far. Tell us about your thoughts about that fight.
I knew I just had to stay in on her. I knew she did karate. I was trying to stay away from her kicks. She was a real great opponent. She gave me a run for my money. She did real good.
When it went to the ground, who do you think had the advantage? Tell us about that.
I've really been trying to work on that, and it was almost pretty even. I mean, I just tried to remember to throw punches even while I was down there and try to stay on her. She did good too.
Well, you guys put on an incredible fight. Like I said, in my opinion, that is the fight of the night. You guys give it up right here. This is your winner, Heather Parsons. Let's hear it.
All right, our winner of the 4th fight of the night, Heather Parsons over Cody Underwood. We'll take a quick break and come back with our 5th fight on tonight's card. Brandon Ply taking on Anthony Flick. This fight, another close fight as far as weight divisions go. We'll tell you all about it after this on Tubetown, Channel 21.
What you had?
Watch out, Brandon.
It's fun hunting with your buddies, but it's really fun when you get limped with your buddies.
I've got a special technique where I just wait for the big ones to go.
Yeah, baby.
Andy Matus and Aaron Hathcock back here on the Greene County Fairgrounds at the BC Lloyd Building for Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds 2. It's a mouthful to say, but it's even more fun to watch so far here tonight. We are on our 5th fight of the night on our 7-fight card.
How exciting was that last fight, Andy?
It was very exciting. The only one and only female fight that we have tonight, and it was.
We talked about it before the fight.
It was a blast.
The women leave it in the cage every single time. It doesn't matter what level. It doesn't matter who the fighters are. Every single time the women leave it in the cage.
A lot to live up to for our next fight. Brandon Ply in the ring right now wearing the black and red striped trunks.
Brandon Ply, don't really have a fighting style. I'm from BB. I like my gym. My teammates are tough. They get a little bit tough, hard. That's about it. Well, give a shout out to BB, all my friends. I ain't gonna say no names for 10 minutes. So, thank you for the most. This is my baby, Brayden Ply. Just, I don't know, give him a better life.
Pop, pop.
He's fighting at the blue corner tonight. His opponent, Anthony Flick.
My name's Anthony Flick. I'm fighting at 180 pounds this time. Usually fight at 185, but striker. I've been studying jiu-jitsu for going on 3 years now, so expect it to be a little mixed every day. 5:30 in the morning, get out at about 8 o'clock, back in it at 6 till about 10 o'clock at night. It's everything. Mr. Merritt about 5 years ago, didn't actually start training under him, just met him, did a few things with him, studied some jiu-jitsu. Me and Mr. Merritt are real tight. We've been together for a while now, and first jiu-jitsu student I was of his, and you know, our fight team's growing on a steady basis. We had another school closed down in the town, and they've joined forces with us, and we're growing hard and strong. You know, I've got my son's 11 years old. He's not going to be able to make this one, but I told him I would do something extra special for him this time. So, you know, he's staying with some friends of mine that usually make my fights and everything. So they're all going to be sitting at the house rooting for me this time. Been friends with all these people for over 20 years. Conway, Greenbrier, all the people I love, all the people that are there for me. We got
making his way to the ring here momentarily. And
Anthony's coming out to a little Leonard Skinner, it sounds like.
He is. A little bit of free bird. Here comes Anthony Flick right now.
This might be a little simple, man. I'm not entirely sure.
Sorry, you're right. You're right. I can't hear the audio, all that. You are correct.
I'm a little closer to the speakers.
Brandon Ply, Anthony Flick, only a 3-pound weight difference between these two. Brandon Ply weighs in at 177 pounds, while Flick, who is getting checked out by our doctor as we speak, weighs in at 180. So I mentioned this before the break. This is the closest that we've been in weight division as far as the guys go so far tonight.
Yeah, and I don't know. Once again, I think this is a fight where weight is not going to play.
I agree.
Play into it at all. So I think this is going to come down to technique, to strategy, to style, and that's one of those things that not necessarily having the opportunity to talk to these fighters as much as we would love to. We can't necessarily delve into their strategy quite as much as we'd like to. But I would like to know the strategy for this fight between these two guys.
Anthony Flick wearing black trunks, Ply wearing the black and red trunks. And it looks like Flick has got a small height advantage over his opponent. But we'll send it down to Billy Lamb to announce our fight.
Team Wolfpack, Brandon Ply. And his opponent in the red corner from Team Triumph, Anthony Flick.
All right. Fighters are ready. They'll come to the middle of the ring where referee David Dyer will have the two bow, as is customary for Global Proving Grounds.
And as we've talked about, Andy, I think that's so appropriate. I think it's a great way to tie into the legacy of mixed martial arts to martial arts.
Absolutely.
And both these fighters respect each other as they touch gloves.
I would say
a good kick to start the fight.
I would say about 1.5 inches height difference between Flick and Ply. Flick again wearing the black trunks, Ply wearing the black and red trunks.
Flick displayed some quickness right there off the bat.
The two
we'll see how that plays out.
The two opening up with kicks here to start the fight in the first round.
And it would be interesting to see an entirely stand-up matchup. I don't know that we've seen one that has been completely on the feet all night long. Flick definitely seems to favor the feet, and now these guys stand in the pocket.
Flick definitely caught Ply with a couple of hooks there, and now you see Ply. He's in the half mount, trying to switch over into the full mount. Now he's in side guard.
And right there you can see what Fly is doing is he has the leg of Flick hooked. And Flick and Fly, these guys are going to confuse us throughout this entire fight, I think, Andy. But there's there's definitely Fly has the left leg of Anthony Flick hooked, and he's preventing him from trying to transition to full mount. Ply, all right. Ply, Fly. It's a difficult thing to call.
Right now, Flick still in the half mount. It's like kind of a mix between half mount and side guard, because really he is in side guard, but as you mentioned, Ply has got that leg locked in almost like a half mount position.
And both our fighters at this point seem to be taking, and right there you have Flick throwing those shots to the ribs. At some point, those may take a toll.
That's what I was going to say. As you mentioned in the last round, they may not seem like they're doing a whole lot of damage, but over time, they're able to wear down your opponent. Absolutely.
What happened right there was Flick was able to transition into full mount because he distracted Ply.
Absolutely.
By those shots to the ribs. And at some point, those 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 shots added up. And Ply took his concentration off of his legs that had the one leg of Anthony Flick locked up.
Well, and Flick right now, again, throwing those right hooks to the body, and now you see him slamming the back.
Right there, Flick drives his shoulder toward the mat, and he's driving the back of the head of Anthony Ply into the canvas.
What he's doing is trying to create some separation between himself and the body of Ply, so he can do that right there.
That's exactly right. You called it exactly right, Andy.
He's trying to raise up so he can sit on top of him and throw blows. And, Ply's only got to last another 15 seconds remaining here in round number 1. And he's yelling at the referee right now. I couldn't quite make out what he was saying, but he looked like he wanted a stoppage.
But you can't do that if you're a fighter. I understand going, hey, help my opponent out. I don't want to kill this man.
Well, and there you saw referee David Dyer instructing something there at the end. I don't know if it was so much Flick saying, "Hey, call the fight," or if it was referee Dyer saying, "Hey, you can't do that." But from our end, I couldn't see him doing anything that was not allowed.
Well, and I don't think that's the case. I think he was saying, "Show some mercy to this guy. I'm beating the snot out of him. What are you going to do about it?" And you can't do that as a fighter. It's just like in basketball. When you drive the lane, you have to finish that play.
I think they're actually going to call the fight.
What?
We'll send it down.
I guess so.
We'll send it down to referee David Dyer and our announcer Billy Lamb to find out what the official decision is. And then Aaron Hathcock will get a word with the winner.
All right, referee has called a stop to this fight, and your winner from Team Triumph, Anthony Flick.
All right, let's get a word with our winner, Anthony Flick. So you applied the pressure that entire first round, caused a stoppage by the referee just before the horn. Tell us what your strategy was coming into this fight.
My strategy was, honestly, I expected him to come out throwing wild, and I was just going to let him do it. He didn't pop off when we started, so I did, never let up.
Well, you obviously modified throughout that whole fight. Tell us about your thoughts now that the way that fight ended. Tell us about how you felt like when that fight ended.
I wanted it to end it standing, honestly, but, W's a W, baby.
All right, everybody, this is our winner, Anthony Flick. Let's give it up for him right now.
Our man Aaron Hathcock down in the ring with our winner of our 5th fight, Anthony Flick. We'll come back here in just a minute, and Aaron will explain exactly what referee David Dyer told him in the ring about why he stopped the fifth fight after that first round. We'll come back after this with our title fight, the 6th fight of the night, the co-main event, Cody Lane taking on Jesse Parker. After this, it's Caged Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds 2 right here on Tubetown, Channel 21.
First Delta Bank presents live high school baseball on Tubetown, Channel 21. You heard right. For the first time ever, Ritter Communications brings you live high school baseball on Tubetown, Channel 21. Log on to tubetownonline.com to see the full baseball schedule and see when your local team will be televised. The season begins April 3rd. First Delta Bank presents live high school baseball on Tubetown, Channel 21. Brought to you by these great sponsors.
Andy Maness and Aaron Hathcock back here at the BC Lloyd Building on the Greene County Fairgrounds for Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds 2, getting ready for Cody Lane to take on Jesse Parker, the title holder. Cody Lane making his way down to the ring. Aaron, what happened in our last fight between Anthony Flick and Brandon Ply?
I had some conversation after that interview with our winner, Anthony Flick. I had some conversation with the referee, David Dyer, and just before the bell, somewhere around that time, we were questioning why is our winner standing up or looking up at the referee. He basically said that Brandon Ply said, "I quit." So that's why they called it. But in the process of all of that occurring and our referee David Dyer saying, "I understand what you're saying, I'm going to call it," the horn blew. So in between rounds, he said, "No, that's it."
Gotcha.
We had a submission verbally. That's what we're at, or that's where we're at. And so that's why the fight was called.
Well, Cody Lane right now will make his way to the ring. He stands in at 137 pounds. Jesse Parker, his opponent, 135. So again, another very close weight difference between the two. But this fight is different than our previous 5, Aaron. This is going to be 5 3-minute rounds.
That's right. And this is not the first time we've seen Cody Lane fight. You and I have seen Cody Lane fight on multiple occasions. This fight's for a belt. A lot of high stakes in this fight. It'll be interesting to see how this goes.
It will indeed. Cody Lane already in the ring. He is wearing the black trunks with white writing, and right now Jesse Parker makes his way to fight out of the red corner. He'll be checked out by our ring doctor. Now, what exactly is our ring doctor down there doing? All the time before fights, you see them smudging Vaseline on the face.
And
tell us about what that does.
That's actually the cut lady. The Vaseline is an attempt. If you notice, they go over the eyebrows. They go on the high piece of the cheekbone. Those are the places that by punches, knees are most likely to get cut. So the Vaseline is an attempt to diminish that potential just a little bit. There's a famous individual, a gentleman named Stitch Moran, that you see oftentimes in professional fights, and that's what he does. He's a cut man, but he also does a lot of Vaselining before the fight. And there you see eyebrows, you see cheekbones, and that's what they're trying to prevent. Our ringside doctor happens to be tonight, happens to be Richard Holling, and he happens to be wearing his lab coat, which I find interesting.
You got to make sure he knows, or everybody knows that he's the doctor.
That's right. As a physician assistant student myself, I find it interesting he is wearing his lab coat. Our ringside physician for the last previous fights, George Patton, Dr. George Patton, has chosen not to wear his ring coat or his lab coat.
Let's send it down to Billy Lamb to
introducing first, hometown boy in the blue corner, the Beast, Cody Lane. And his opponent in the red corner. Make some noise for Jesse Parker.
All right, getting ready for our co-main event. Cody the Beast Lane and Jesse Parker. The two will come to the middle of the octagon, shake hands and bow to each other. Bow to referee Rocky Demir, as is custom with Global Proving Grounds. Great tradition they've instilled here in our fighters.
Honor and respect. That's what it's about, Andy.
Here we go. Cody Lane wearing the black short trunks. Jesse Parker wearing the American flag long trunks. Big leg kick out of the horn there from Cody Lane. Now Lane with his back almost against the fence. He's able to switch out into the middle of the ring, and a nice sprawl there to avoid a takedown.
And it's interesting. Cody Lane looked like he wanted to establish his jab.
There's Jesse Parker. He's gone into the butterfly guard. Jesse Parker just voluntarily went to the mat, and that
now
probably
he's closed
shows
guard.
you. That probably tells you that he is a student of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Very likely.
The fact that he just willingly went to the floor like that. And there's an armbar attempt on Cody Lane. Lane is able to get out of it.
He escaped from it. I don't know that Parker had it sunk in really well, and now he's in sort of a modified half guard. It's like half butterfly, and he tries to transition to side. Both fighters stand up, and I think that's where both these guys, and I'm pretty sure at this point Cody Lane wants to be on the feet.
Well, and you've said I've got to agree because, I mean, Jesse Parker in the 30 seconds they spent on the mat was almost able to land at least 2 submission moves.
And I think the beast Cody Lane, I think he wants to be, from evidence from fights we've seen before, I think he wants to be on the feet.
Oh, and there's a
right there,
kick.
right there to the shin.
I think he might have
this
taken
could be
Parker
over right
down.
here. Rocky Demir taking it close.
Lane throwing heavy hands.
Parker
to
grabbed
the
his
face of
shin.
Parker.
I don't know if he just had some pain.
But a big-time leg kick from Cody Lane. Absolutely. As soon as that kick landed, Parker grabbed it for his leg and went directly to the mat. And now he's
What
given
a
up
shot by Cody Lane, 2, and then 3 to the head and the ribs.
He's given up his back to Cody Lane. And as you mentioned, Cody Lane continuing to throw those heavy hands. We'll see what he can do here from this back mount position.
But that was interesting. There's no doubt he hurt Jesse Parker right there with that kick right to the shin.
And we saw that happen about a week ago in the UFC. A fight ends because a fighter gets his ACL torn from a kick.
That's right.
And now
taking it back in an attempt at a rear naked.
Rear naked choke attempt. He's got it locked in.
I don't know if he's all the way under the chin, though. It's hard to tell. He turns it over. If he can get both those hooks in, it's quite possible he could get that arm under the chin.
Aaron, I think he's got it locked in.
I'm not sure he's all the way under the chin, though, Andy. It's hard to tell.
See
how he's not all the way under the chin, though?
And he lets it go.
See what I'm talking about?
He lets it go.
About just a little over halfway through this round.
Parker uses the cage to try to gain momentum, and he switches positions. Now Parker is in half guard.
See, he was almost at a disadvantageous position. He flipped his hips, and now he's on top, throwing a couple of bombs right there on top of Cody Lane.
All right.
But you know what?
First round ended, and I think we got that backwards. I think we've got 5 3-minute rounds on
That's
our
right.
hand.
We do have 5 3-minute rounds. And then we have 3 5-minute rounds in our main event. This being our co-main
I think
and
we
a
said
title
it right,
fight.
but we had our timer wrong.
That's correct. I think we slid the finger just a little bit too far on the timer.
Very
but what
even,
a great round. There's so much excitement.
A very even first round between Cody Lane and Jesse Parker. It looked like absolutely Parker was stunned by that leg kick that Lane threw, a low leg kick to the back of the calf area. But by the end of that transaction, after all was said and done, an attempted rear naked choke from Cody Lane, Parker was able to get in the full guard position, and he was able to throw a couple of blows while he was in that full guard position.
But overall,
I think I've got to give it to Cody Lane overall.
I agree completely. 100% I agree with you. I think it's 10-9 Cody Lane, just because for the majority of the round, he was the aggressor.
And here we go with round number 2.
Rocky Demir says you got to get back to your corner, and here we go.
And I'm glad to see Jesse Parker not hurt after round number 1 also. I'm glad to see he's still up. And right away you see Cody Lane go back for that same leg. An attempted takedown blocked there by Parker.
If you're Cody Lane, why would you not do that? You obviously stung him. Maybe it was like a stinger in football on somebody's shoulder. But to the knee, to the calf.
Big takedown from Jesse Parker.
And Cody Lane loaded up and tried to throw a shot. Jesse Parker was able to fend that off. He got the double leg, and he took Cody Lane down and said, I am going to put you on the mat with authority.
Now in the full guard position, Cody Lane is trying to see what he can do to fend off Jesse Parker. Parker again in the black long trunks with the American flag pattern. He is on top right now, throws a couple of right hands. He's going to try to slip by that full guard of Cody Lane. Lane doing a good job, though, of bottling him up, though, and keeping it a close guard.
Lane has entire control, or he did until he wrapped him up. He had entire control of Jesse Parker's right arm.
Lane is doing a good job of keeping it closed guard, but now he lets it go. And now it's an open guard. And
this
that's
is
a more
where,
dangerous position.
That's right. Well, it could be. You know, this is a point where I'm Jesse Parker. If I'm his corner, I'm saying you put your forearm, you put your hand right over Cody Lane's mouth, over his nose, on his throat. You need to cut off his air.
And he is
that was a pretty good transition
to
sweep all the way around. And now he's got the back of Cody Lane.
And this is not where Lane wants to be because, as we've seen from
Obviously
the first
not.
round, Parker is a student of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He wants to be on the ground because he's going to try to get you with these submission moves. And there he just, as you mentioned, showed his wrestling skills off. He went from a full guard. He's got the rear naked choke.
He's got both those hooks in on Cody Lane.
And Lane is going to have to last one
Cody
whole minute.
Lane's about to get a caution from Rocky Demir to say let go of the cage.
And there it was. I think he actually just ended the fight.
Did Cody Lane tap out? Is that what that was?
I think it was. Cody Lane taps out with 1 minute remaining in the second round. Jesse Parker with what could be the submission of the night. We'll send it down to ring announcer Billy Lamb to announce our winner, and then our man Aaron Hathcock will get a winner with Jesse Parker.
Your winner and new champion, Jesse Parker!
All right, let's talk to our new winner, Jesse Parker. Tell us about how that went, man. It looked like there were times in that fight when it looked like you were at a disadvantage, but you flipped the script and you got the submission. Tell us how that went.
Yeah, the game plan was to take him down. He's a good brawler. He has no ground game, and took him down. Did my magic, man. Me and Cody were supposed to be fighting like 4 years ago. We've been talking about this for a while, and finally happened. And thank you for Cody Lane for fighting me. And yeah, appreciate everybody coming out. I'm not from here, but thank you.
Did you know that you would have an opening when that last sequence happened?
Yeah. I mean, I train jiu-jitsu a lot, gi, no gi, whatever. And that's all I do, man. Take it to the ground and do what I do there.
Let's give it up for our new champion, everybody. Come on.
I'm gonna come in the ring. I'm gonna show you what the TCW champion do.
Yes! Big tackle! Nobody pulls the plug on Alan Steele.
He's saying that's it. This
Almost
is
too much.
Steel trap. He's trapped in steel trap.
Andy Manus back here on Tubetown Channel 21, getting a chance to catch up with the president and CEO of Global Proving Grounds. James Jefferson joins us right now at our broadcast position. How are you doing, sir?
Doing great, man. Doing great.
Well, tell us just a little bit about Global Proving Grounds. And, I mean, obviously you guys are, as you told us earlier, very similar to the NFL. Kind of explain that, if you will.
Well, we come into regional or national promotions and help them increase the quality of the product by bringing in better TV production, better fighters, better branding, more marketing, social networking. So instead of having promotions try and compete with the big boys, UFC and Bellator, bring the regional promotions up to a better quality so the fans locally can get a much better experience, the fighters can get better exposure to leading them to larger organizations. And Global Proving Ground originally was built 2 years ago. We got together with some of the founding fathers of the UFC, Ron Van Cleve, Helsing Gracie, Ben Perry, Dan Severin, as well as Renzo Gracie, Sifu Chow, some of the masters of martial arts. And we're bringing back, and you'll notice in tonight's fights, which you've probably mentioned, is that the fighters are required to bow to the referee and to each other to make sure they're showing the honor, the respect, and the true spirit of martial arts. Let's face it, MMA is a sport. It's not a martial art, but it comes from the root of the history of all martial arts, whether it be Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu, Sambo, all the different martial arts. Kung Fu is very prevalent as well. So we're very excited. We have a huge team that's building Global Proving Ground, but it's for the fans. It's for the fighters. And in fact, our fan integration is second to none. Fans themselves can go to globalprovingground.com and vote for their favorite fighters. there's 700 to 800 videos from fighters from 27 countries, including from here in Paragould. One of our best fighters, Enoch Bricker's coming up in the main fight tonight. He was voted on by the fans of the world to go to our docu-series, which is Warrior Island, which we're hoping to film this summer.
Well, absolutely, and as you mentioned, Warrior Island is going to be a bit of a documentary for you guys. If you would, kind of expound on that a little bit and tell us about Warrior Island.
Well, fans at home, if you're a fan and you love movies like Enter the Dragon or Bloodsport, but also are a fan of TV shows like Survivor, take a big a blender, mix it all together, and that's what you get. Warrior Island is a docu-series filmed in the HBO style of 24/7 Pacquiao, Mayweather, NFL Hard Knocks, where you get to really learn the blood, sweat, and tears of what these fighters go through at home with their families, their jobs, the everyday struggles, and then traveling to a mysterious island where they'll train old school martial arts, everything from kung fu to boxing to wrestling, with the masters of martial arts, and then fight in an open pit like Bloodsport, not a cage. Rules? There's no rules.
I'm sure that's very fan-friendly, and as you mentioned, fans can go to your website, globalprovinggrounds.com, and vote on their favorite fighters. But you mentioned trying to increase exposure for the fighters, and you've enabled fighters to do things like go to your website, and you've been able to allow fighters to upload their own videos, upload their own statistics, and upload things like that. If you would, just kind of expound on how you try to help the fighters, as you mentioned, get into that next level of MMA fighting.
Yeah, some of the problems that promoters have told me around the world is that, number one, they have a hard time finding quality fighters or accurate information. So we've launched a new database that's absolutely free for fighters, coaches, and for commissioners, anyone in the sport. They go in, they can register. All records will be verified by the local commissioner, and the fighter can upload their picture, their video, their social networking, interact. They get to have their own webpage on globalprovingground.com with their Facebook and Twitter attached to it. They can market themselves, which is what promoters want. They want ticket sellers. So we help them, like we came down here to Paragould, and at the weigh-ins, we took a fight photo of each one of the fighters. We did a fighter feature video that will make available to the promoter. So now the fighter has a brand. The local fighters usually have a handful of local mom and pop businesses, small business people that support them. This gives them another opportunity to help those sponsorship dollars get out there. Global Proving Ground, as big as we're going to be, as big as we are now, we will never penalize the small sponsors for supporting a fighter by charging some kind of a huge fee for them to be involved with Global Proving Ground. If a fighter comes to us, we have 700 fighters. If they come to us, their sponsors and coaches come with them, and there's no penalty or cost for that.
So as you mentioned, you're not really necessarily trying to compete with the big boys like UFC or Bellator or anything like that. You're really just all about trying to help a fighter find his place amongst these different organizations.
Right, we're the minor leagues, but in a major way.
Absolutely. Well, James Jefferson joining us at our broadcast position. We certainly appreciate you for your time,
great
sir.
Great
Thank
time.
you so much.
Thank you.
We're going to come back with our title fight this evening. Our main event. We just had our title fight. Enoch Bricker of Global Proving Grounds will be taking on Michael Richards. We'll come back with that fight right after this on Tubetown Channel 21.
Ritter Communications gives you a universe of TV shows, and now TiVo brings you even more. Movies, music, and videos from the web. Get it all in one place and take it anywhere life takes you. Any show, any screen, anywhere. Introducing the TiVo Experience.
Call Ritter Communications today. Ritter Communications, right by you.
Welcome back to Tubetown Channel 21 for Cage Combat Championship Global Proving Grounds 2. Our main event of the evening, making his way to the ring right now, professional fighter for Global Proving Grounds, Enoch Bricker, excuse me.
I believe this is Michael Richards.
Fighting out of the, excuse me.
They flipped it on you, Andy.
I think he's wearing red tape. I think that is Michael Richards. They did flip it on me. Making his way to the ring, Michael Richards.
Michael Richards, 150. My teammates are a good aspiration to our team. My coach is the best guy out there. He teaches a lot of groundwork and honor. The good Lord inspires me to do everything I do in my life, including cage fighting. when I'm victorious and all my fans are standing up and screaming for me, I feel like nothing else can happen. I just want to thank everybody that comes from Capital, Arkansas, and everybody that's coming out here to watch me fight. I really appreciate it. Thank y'all.
In the black and white Venom trunks, weighing in 153 pounds, of course they would want to bring the hometown favorite, Enoch Bricker, out second.
Absolutely, and you know, it may be a conspiracy to make it difficult on you. So, this being a professional fight, we're going to have 3 5-minute rounds, just like you see in Bellator, just like you see in UFC.
Our referee for this main event in the evening will be Rocky Demir. Our judges, John Webb, Wes Craft, John Munns. And, of course, we'll send it down momentarily to our ring announcer, Billy Lamb. Timekeeper tonight, Christina Harper. And our ringside doctor tonight, Roland Hollins.
And you know, Andy, we have seen Enoch Bricker talk in the ring. You have interviewed Enoch, but this is the first time we've actually seen him fight.
That's right. As a matter of fact, you know, it was back in something like September, I think, that, you know, he first came out and he was like, hey, I'm a professional fighter and I am willing to fight in a professional bout against you guys. It was, you know, a while back, and I think that fight was planned for like November. It ended up not happening, but now finally we get to see Paragold's own Enoch Bricker.
It's Enoch Bricker, 155, fight brawler / boxer. Just main goal is to just go out and knock some heads on Iraq in 07. Started training with Max Bishop. Got my basics learned in there, and I opened up Brick House MMA, and since then I've kind of been on my own, teaching my own students and stuff, and you know, I had a lot happen. I just learned, you know, to be a warrior, keep on fighting like a soldier does, and because of MMA, you know, it helps me with my PTSD. It helps me with my anger, with all my issues. I'm able to go in the gym and you know, hit the bag, hit on a buddy. I don't get that anger problem when I go out on the streets and stuff, so it really helps with my PTSD. I'm able to focus on my nutrition and stuff like that, so I don't, you know, my weight ain't up and down, and I ain't worried about depression. I get my depression is all taken care of when I fight and stuff. So MMA's really helped me a lot as far as my. I signed a contract with Global Proving Ground last November 2012. Had several fights with them since then. Got voted on to Warrior Island. I'm excited about going to that and putting on a show for worldwide television. I'd like to thank everyone in Paragould, Arkansas, all my family and friends. Just thanks for the support and help get me on Warrior Island, and I ain't gonna let you down.
He makes his way, and in grand fashion, he's wearing a kilt.
He is wearing a kilt. I hope he's not wearing that in traditional Scottish fashion. I hope he has some fighting shorts underneath that kilt.
I'm sure he probably does.
We'll find out soon.
He makes his way around the octagon right now. Again, he is the hometown favorite, fighting in his hometown, Paragould, Arkansas.
And Enoch did a stint, if I'm not mistaken, on Global Proving Grounds reality show Warrior Island.
Absolutely. He was one of the feature fighters there, as we just found out from James Jefferson moments ago, the president and CEO of Global Proving Grounds. And we're going to find out what Enoch Bricker is all about. Enoch Bricker weighs in at 157 pounds. Michael Richards, 153. Again, 3 5-minute rounds ahead of us here tonight. We'll find out exactly what these two fighters are all about.
And Andy, that ownership group of Global Proving Grounds, consisting of Henzo Gracie, Helson Gracie, Dan the Beast Severin, Ron Van Cleef, and of course the owner, President, CEO James Jefferson. You know, that is a great group of guys.
Absolutely. We'll send it down to ring announcer Billy Lamb to announce our fighters.
The main event of the evening. Introducing first from Team Wolfpack. This man's got bad intentions. Michael Richards. And his opponent, don't really need an introduction, but I'm going to give him one. Brick House MMA, Global Proving Ground, an Army veteran. He is the Irish Brick, Enoch Bricker!
All right, ready for our main event of the evening. 3 5-minute rounds between Enoch Bricker, who is apparently an Army vet, against Michael Richards from Team Wolfpack, fighting out of Cabot, Arkansas. And apparently, Aaron, he is also a professional bull rider.
Wow. That's more machismo than I can even stand.
And he opens out of the gate with a standing front.
Wow!
He has
We're done! We're done!
Oh my God! The quickest knockout we have ever seen.
Enoch Bricker is through after 5 seconds.
He hit him with a front kick and a right hand, and this fight is over. Michael Richards, straight out of the gate, over Enoch Bricker. So much for being the hometown favorite.
Wow. Andy, I don't even know what to say. I'm standing up out of my chair right now. I can't wait to do this interview. Who saw that coming?
What just happened?
Enoch Bricker still doesn't know who Rocky Demir is. If you look at him at the door to the cage, our ring doctor, Roland Holling, is going, Enoch, what day is today? What day of the week is it?
Aaron,
what's your name?
I don't even know what today is after that kick. Michael Richards just kicked Enoch Bricker into next Tuesday.
I don't even know what to say. Rocky Demir says, we got to get some help for Enoch Bricker.
Holy goodness. We're going to send it down to Billy Lamb momentarily, our ring announcer, to announce Michael Richards, the winner of tonight's main event.
Andy, I've got to go ringside, and I have got to see what is going on right here.
Unbelievable. We'll send it down to our man, Aaron Hathcock, after this. Wow. Talk about fight of the night. May not have been fight of the night, but definite knockout of the night. Let's see what Billy Lamb has to say about it.
All right, let's get a word with our winner, Michael Richards. Michael, I'm not sure how many people saw that coming. I know at the announce table, we lost it because that was so quick, that was so sudden. Tell us what your thoughts were coming into this fight.
I had a game plan and I stuck to it.
What was your game plan? Knock him out?
Win, and win big.
Well, you have certainly accomplished it, man. Congratulations. Hey, we need to get a word with Enoch Bricker, too. Enoch, I know that fight didn't turn out the way you wanted to, brother, but tell us what you're thinking right now.
Come out with my hands up. I just kind of, I know I had my right hand down. I was going to throw an overhand right, and he beat me to the punch, and he caught me right on the jaw. I wasn't out, but, I mean, apparently I was out good enough to get the stop, so hats off to him. He caught me with a good shot. Hey, you win some, you lose some. So.
Well, I don't know if you lost any respect, brother, but tell us what you got planned from this point forward.
My main focus, you know, is really focusing on Warrior Island with Global Proving Ground. You know, developing the sport as a whole, not just the individual. We're Global Proving Ground. Our goal is to develop the sport, to get the name out on MMA, that it ain't a bunch of street fighters and thugs in here fighting, that you know, we train for this stuff, and it's not just something that anybody can jump in here and do. It takes hard work and dedication, and Global Proving Ground's doing a good job of putting the fighters out there and getting their name mentioned.
Hey, man, it's not an easy thing to step in this cage and to stand across from another man and say, I'm going to let you hit me. So my hand goes out to you. My hand goes out to our winner. And good luck to both of you guys in the future. Hey, you guys need to give it up for both these guys, Michael Richards and Enoch Bricker.
First Delta Bank presents live high school baseball on Tubetown Channel 21. You heard right. For the first time ever, Ritter Communications brings you live high school baseball on Tubetown Channel 21. Log on to tubetownonline.com to see the full baseball schedule and see when your local team will be televised. The season begins April 3rd. First Delta Bank presents live high school baseball on Tubetown Channel 21. Brought to you by these great sponsors.
Andy Manis and Aaron Hathcock back here at the BC Lloyd building on the Greene County Fairgrounds. Man, what an exciting finish to our 7-fight card tonight.
Andy, I can't tell you how hyped up I am. That was an amazing finish to an amazing card.
Absolutely. Michael Richards, if you missed it, which if you did, do yourself a favor and rewind this program about 5 minutes. It's only going to take 5 seconds of your time, I guarantee that, because that's exactly how long the last fight of the night lasted. 5 seconds. Michael Richards opens up with a front foot kick to the chest of Enoch Bricker and then follows with a heavy overhand punch. Done. Fight's over.
And you heard him when I interviewed him. He said, my plan was to win.
He did just that.
And it took him about 15 seconds
Unbelievable.
to execute that plan. That was incredible.
Congratulations to all of our winners tonight, especially Michael Richards defeating Global Proving Grounds' own Enoch Bricker. And he was the hometown favorite. He's from Paragould, Arkansas. Lots of friends and family out to support Enoch Bricker tonight. And like Enoch, they're going to go home a little bit disappointed. But you can't be disappointed in tonight's fights by any means. A lot of great fights on tonight's card.
And, you know, I talked to Enoch after the fights. And I said, man, don't quit. I said, you've got the Global Proving Grounds looking at you. I said, you've got the whole Warrior Island deal. I said, don't quit, don't give up. And, you know, he got caught. And
he did.
That's the bottom line. Michael Richards had a great plan. He executed that plan to perfection. What else can you say?
Well, let's go through the winners for tonight's, our entire fight card, and then we'll award 3 awards to 3 different fighters tonight. We'll give one for submission of the night, one for knockout of the night, and one for fight of the night. Our first fight of the night goes to one Aaron Cruz. He wins via rear naked choke at the 2-minute, 10-second mark in the first round over Dustin Brawley. So congratulations to one Aaron Cruz from Brickhouse MMA. Our second fight of the night goes to Jesse Bowers at the 50-second mark with an arm bar in the first round over his opponent, Will Jackson. Jesse Bowers, the winner of the second fight from Team Wolfpack. Our third fight of the night, Big Joe Jones lives up to his big nickname at 274 pounds. He wins for Team Cerebrus over Daniel Collins. Winner by unanimous decision. It went to the cards, and the judges awarded him the victory. Our fourth fight of the night, Cody Underwood is defeated by Heather Parsons. Also another decision that went to the judges' hands, but Heather Parsons is victorious in our fourth fight of the night over Cody Underwood. Our fifth fight of the night, Anthony Flick from Team Triumph wins over Brandon Ply via referee stoppage with about 10 seconds remaining in the first round. Team Triumph with Anthony Flick getting the victory in our fifth fight of the night. Our title fight of the evening, in the second round, at the 2-minute mark via rear naked choke, Jesse Parker gets the win over Cody the Beast Lane. Our sixth fight of the night and our title fight. And then, of course, our main event, which you just heard here from myself and Aaron. Unbelievable turn of events. Michael Richards at about, let's call it the 10-second mark, in the first round gets a knockout victory over Global Proving Grounds' own Enoch Bricker. Unbelievable. And now, Aaron, it's time to award our awards for this evening. I think you and I both in agreement. Our submission of the night goes to our second fight, Jesse Bowers from Team Wolfpack via armbar submission. He was able to get that submission from the back position. He was able to get it while his opponent was standing up. He was able to catch that armbar and make his opponent tap out.
And you're absolutely right. When we look at tonight as a whole, when Jesse Bowers was able to get that armbar from the bottom, even though his opponent had the dominant position and was standing up, there's no doubt that that's submission of the night.
And, of course, our knockout of the night You guessed it. Our final fight of the evening, the main event. Michael Richards over Enoch Bricker again opens up with a front foot kick to the chest and then follows with an overhand punch. And just like that, Enoch Bricker's hopes of exciting this hometown crowd were gone.
And Enoch Bricker said it. He said, "I've never been knocked out." From this point forward, he can't say that.
Well,
he was absolutely
and a
knocked
lot of
out
times
tonight.
you don't start getting better until you lose that first fight, until you get knocked out for that first time.
That's exactly right.
So we'll see if he improves from here on out.
Well, you know, in all of us that are humans, failure is the best teacher.
Absolutely.
And I don't see anything but success for Enoch Bricker from this point forward.
And of course, our fight of the night, we talked about it. The ladies fight tonight, Cody Underwood and Heather Parsons. Again, Heather Parsons, the winner via judge's decision over Cody Underwood. Definitely our fight of the night. He went all 3 rounds, and we were not disappointed at all.
Never disappointed by the ladies. They leave it in the cage every single time, and it happened again tonight. So I think you and I are in agreement. Fight of the night, no doubt.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us here at the B.C. Lloyd Building on the fairgrounds of Greene County. Thanks to everyone involved tonight. Thanks to Global Proving Grounds, their president and CEO, James Jefferson. And, of course, thanks to AA Productions for making this possible tonight. Big thanks to all of our cameramen, Brandon Reed, Richard Bresler, and, of course, Drew Brown as well. And, of course, Tubetown Channel 21's executive producer, Marcus Carlson. For Aaron Hathcock, I'm Andy Maness. We'll see you next time for another Cage Combat Championship right here on Tubetown Channel 21.
America, baby. I love America, baby. And everything in it, I'm an American, baby.